There comes a moment in your awakening when you realize that the entire world bends and bows to the state of consciousness you occupy. The moment you stop chasing validation, the moment you stop begging to be chosen and instead assume you already are, the universe itself begins to conspire in silence to make them kneel before the reality of your imagination. You see, there is no external force controlling the stage of your life. There is only consciousness, your consciousness, moving through form, molding every circumstance, and commanding every being to play their part according to your inner conviction. What you accept as true within you becomes the decree of the universe. The great law is simple. What you feel to be real becomes real. And when you live from the knowing that you are the center of power, that you are the one with whom the whole world is in love, every person who once ignored you begins to feel the pull of your energy as though drawn by an invisible magnet. They cannot resist what you have become because you are no longer waiting for them to give you value. You have already become the value itself. To make them fall on their knees for you is not to manipulate their will, but to awaken your own divine authority. You don't plead for their attention, you decree your worth into existence. You saturate your inner world with the conviction that you are desired, adored, respected, and needed, and the reflection must obey. For it is not people who respond to your words, it is the consciousness behind those words that creates the shift. When you walk into a room embodying the knowing that everything is yours, energy bends, eyes follow you, silence thickens with presence. They feel something ancient and irresistible, though they may not understand it. They are not responding to your face or your tone, they are responding to the state you occupy. Imagine this deeply. Every person, every event, every circumstance you encounter is a mirror of your inner conversations. When you feel inferior, they dominate you. When you feel powerful, they bow to you. The world does not decide how to treat you. Your assumption about yourself commands their behavior. To make them fall on their knees for you is to reverse the power dynamic within your own mind. You must stop looking outward for approval and begin to speak to yourself as the one already crowned. You must begin to live from the awareness that the throne was always yours, that your power does not need to be earned, that your love is not a reward to be begged for, but an empire that others long to enter. When you close your eyes tonight, feel the sensation of being the one they crave, not as a fantasy, but as a living fact. Imagine the sound of their voice softening when they speak your name. Feel their energy melting before your presence. See them kneeling not in submission, but in awe of the power that radiates from you. For that image, that feeling, that inner certainty is not imagination in the sense of fiction, it is creation in its purest form. Every vision sustained with feeling and faith crystallizes into form. And when you embody that inner scene consistently, the outer world must yield. They will come to you. They will apologize. They will chase, confess, surrender. They will do so not because you forced them, but because your consciousness left them no choice. You changed the only thing that ever needed to change, yourself. Understand, the universe is your reflection, and reflection cannot argue. If you look in a mirror and smile, it smiles back instantly. It doesn't take time. It doesn't resist. Yet when you insist that the reflection must smile first, you remain stuck. You wait for evidence instead of being the cause. To make them fall on their knees for you, you must be the cause. You must decide that you are the desired one, the chosen one, the one who is impossible to forget. You must feel this truth so vividly that the reflection is compelled to catch up. Every doubt, every insecurity, every memory of rejection must be replaced with one image, yourself standing in the full power of your worth. And the beauty of this truth is that it requires no effort of the outer kind. You do not need to chase, to convince, to compete. You simply rest in the assumption that all power is already yours. When you wake in the morning, do not ask, "Will they come to me?" Instead, declare, "They already have." When you go to sleep at night, do not replay moments of pain. Instead, dwell in the inner scene of them longing for your presence, speaking words of love, showing acts of devotion. Feel it done. Let your mind be drunk with the certainty of being adored, for your imagination is not a passive dream, it is the womb of creation. Everything you sustain within it must be born. The secret is persistence, not emotional struggle, but the calm, unshakable knowing that what you have assumed is already real. The outer world may still echo the old belief for a time, but pay it no attention. When you planted a seed, you do not dig it up every hour to see if it's growing. You water it with feeling, you let it rest, and you trust the unseen process. So too with consciousness. Once you have assumed the state of being worshipped, adored, and valued, hold that state. Walk with it. Speak from it. Think from it. The world will rearrange itself to match the vibration you have claimed. People who once overlooked you will now be unable to forget you. They will wake up thinking of you. They will sense your presence in their dreams, feel your name echoing in their hearts. You have impressed their subconscious because your imagination impressed the universe. Remember, no one can treat you as less unless you first agree to be less. When you refuse that agreement, when you stand as the embodiment of divine power, they cannot help but recognize it. You do not need to announce it. You simply exist in it, and they bow. It is the law. Energy recognizes authority. Consciousness recognizes itself. You have always been the center of the story. The only reason others seemed to hold power over you was that you handed them the script. Take it back. Rewrite it. See them standing before you, eyes soft, hearts open, surrendering to the magnetic field of your being. Feel that moment until it becomes real to you. The world of form is slower than thought, but thought is the blueprint of form. Every thought impregnated with feeling becomes a command. You may say, but I don't see any change yet. That doesn't matter. You will if you persist. Every time you dwell in the assumption of being loved, respected, desired, you strengthen the pattern. Every time you fall back into doubt, you delay it. So choose your inner conversations wisely. Speak to yourself as the one who is already chosen. Speak to them in your imagination, not as a beggar pleading for attention, but as a king or queen whose love is a privilege to receive. See them reaching for you, yearning to be in your presence, confessing their devotion. Let the scene feel natural. Let it feel inevitable. You may wonder how this works, how mere imagination can alter reality. It is because imagination is reality in its spiritual form. What you experience inwardly, you call into being outwardly. The physical world is nothing but the crystallization of inner pictures. Once you grasp this, you are free. You no longer chase shadows. You shape light. When you imagine them falling on their knees for you, you are not visualizing an impossible fantasy. You are setting the energetic law in motion. Consciousness takes the path of least resistance to externalize your assumption. It will shift minds, rearrange circumstances, create coincidences, and compel actions that bring your inner scene to life. The person who once rejected you may suddenly dream of you, think of you endlessly, or feel an unexplainable pull to return. That is not magic in the common sense. It is the natural outworking of your imagination. You have entered their consciousness because all consciousness is one. When you feel something deeply and assume it as true, it ripples through the collective field, touching everyone involved in your scene. You do not have to message them, call them, or beg for attention. They will feel it, they will move, they will come. But be cautious. Your motive must come from self-recognition, not desperation. To make them fall on their knees for you is not to enslave them, but to awaken your power so fully that their natural response is reverence. You do not command them to worship you. Your energy inspires devotion. You do not force them to love you. Your presence compels it. You do not trick them into respect. Your knowing becomes irresistible. That is divine power. It never begs, never chases, never fears. It simply is. So when you walk through your day, carry this awareness. Everything you see is yourself pushed out. Every eye that looks upon you is your own consciousness wearing another face. When you change the way you see yourself, you change the way they see you. Feel what it's like to be adored. Feel what it's like to be the one they can't stop thinking about. Feel what it's like to have their hearts tremble at your presence, and the moment you feel it real, you have already set the universe in motion. You can test this tonight. Before you sleep, close your eyes and picture them standing before you, humbled, emotional, captivated by you. Hear them say the words you've longed to hear. Feel their love wrapping around you like warm air. Let the scene feel natural, not forced. Then drift into sleep with that image imprinted in your mind. When you wake, act as though it has already happened. Do not question. Do not seek proof. Live as the one who is already adored. The bridge of incidents will unfold naturally. They may call you unexpectedly, show up in your dreams, or express feelings they've never dared to reveal before. That is your consciousness externalizing itself. When you master this, you'll notice something extraordinary. Your sense of needing anyone disappears. You realize that they fall on their knees not because you demanded it, but because you no longer need it. You have entered such a powerful state of self-sufficiency that the world must mirror it. When you no longer need validation, validation pours in from every corner. When you no longer need love, love floods your life. When you no longer seek power, power emanates from you. This is the paradox of creation. To receive, you must feel that you already have. Every time you feel rejected, understand, it is not them rejecting you, but your own reflection of self-doubt playing out. Do not react. Simply withdraw your attention and replace it with the inner knowing that you are the most magnetic being in existence. Feel yourself radiant, irresistible, luminous. The more you feel it, the more they must respond. You will see it in their eyes, their posture, their words. The energy shifts. They sense that you are no longer chasing them, you are choosing yourself. And nothing is more seductive than self-possession. You are the script writer of your universe. If you wish to be adored, you must write that role into your identity. Speak to yourself internally as though it were already true. When doubt whispers, "They don't care," reply calmly, "They are obsessed with me." When your mind says, "They've forgotten you," affirm, "They think of me constantly." Do not fight with reality. Override it. Replace it. Reality is only old imagination. Change your inner film, and the outer screen must update. This is how true manifestation occurs, through assumption, not effort, through knowing, not hoping, through embodiment, not waiting. You become the cause, and the world responds. It has no choice. The universe is impartial. It mirrors your dominant vibration. If your vibration is power, you will experience power. If your vibration is lack, you will experience lack. Therefore, become vigilant with your inner dialogue. Let no thought of weakness or rejection live unchallenged in your mind. Replace it instantly with the truth of your magnificence. Feel the shift in your body when you declare, "I am the one they adore." The energy expands. The universe takes note. In time, you will see them bend. You will see their pride dissolve, their words soften, their actions align. They will try to rationalize it, but they won't be able to. Something in them will just know they belong to you. They will sense the authority of your consciousness and move accordingly. Not because you manipulated them, but because you awakened the divine power within you, and that power governs all things. This is the ultimate secret, to make them fall on their knees for you. Fall in love with your own divinity first. The world will always mirror your relationship with yourself. When you worship your own being, not with ego, but with reverence, others will follow suit. You cannot receive adoration while secretly believing you are unworthy of it. You must be the first to adore yourself. Stand before the mirror and see God looking back. Speak to that reflection with love. Affirm, "You are power itself. You are irresistible. You are love in human form." Say it until you believe it. Say it until you feel it. Because when you feel it, the vibration radiates. And the moment the vibration radiates, the external world synchronizes. People who once dismissed you will wonder what changed. They will say, "There's something different about you." And there is. You are now conscious of who you truly are. That consciousness alone commands reverence. When you begin to live from this awareness, The universe stops being a place of effort and becomes a mirror of fulfillment. Everything that once seemed difficult dissolves into simplicity. You walk and doors open. You speak and people listen. You exist and hearts surrender. This is not arrogance, this is alignment. To make them fall on their knees for you is to make yourself rise within your own consciousness. You do not stand taller in pride, but in remembrance. You remember that the power that created galaxies also breathes through you. You remember that you are the image and likeness of the divine imagination. And once you remember, everything recognizes you. Look around at the people in your world. Each of them represents a facet of your inner state. The ones who adore you show you where you are aligned with self-love. The ones who reject you reveal where you have denied yourself. Instead of resenting them, use them as mirrors. Ask, what within me created this response? Not in self-blame, but in self-awareness. The moment you identify the belief, dissolve it in the light of your new assumption. If you believe they don't see your worth, it's because you have not yet seen it completely. When you change that, they will have no choice but to kneel before the radiance of your being. There is a vibration that cannot be faked, a frequency that bends reality. It is the vibration of absolute knowing. When you know, truly know, that you are desired and powerful, the energy emanating from you becomes magnetic. People feel it before they see you. They sense it in your silence, in your presence, in the calm confidence of your gaze. It's not the words you speak, it's the energy you carry. You can enter a room without saying a single word, and yet every heart will bow in unspoken reverence, because energy recognizes authority. Authority is not control. Authority is alignment with truth. The truth that all things, all people, all experiences arise from you. The truth that the power that animates the stars is the same power that animates your desire. The truth that your imagination is the blueprint of destiny. Once you accept this, fear vanishes. Rejection becomes impossible. You no longer wonder, do they love me? You know, I am love itself, and love cannot be unloved. If you could understand how powerful your assumptions are, you would never allow a negative thought about yourself to linger for even a moment. Every time you say, they don't care, you give life to a version of reality that reflects that. Every time you affirm, they can't stop thinking about me, you breathe life into that world. The question, therefore, is not, can I make them love me? The question is, can I sustain the assumption that I am loved until it becomes natural? For that is the secret, persistence until naturalness. You might wonder how long it takes. Time is irrelevant. Manifestation is not measured in minutes or days, but in conviction. The moment it feels natural to you, it begins to unfold in form. The only delay is disbelief. The only resistance is doubt. The only obstacle is your unwillingness to feel it real now. So practice it. When you walk, walk as the one they adore. When you speak, speak as the one they admire. When you breathe, breathe as the one they need. Do this until it becomes your second nature. Then watch as life rearranges itself to confirm it. You will notice strange things happening, coincidences, messages, dreams, sudden encounters. These are not accidents. They are reflections of your new state. The person you've been thinking of may suddenly appear, their tone softened, their heart open. They might not even understand why they feel so drawn to you, but you will know. You will know it is the echo of your own imagination returning to you in flesh. You will know that you have touched their consciousness through the invisible network of being. You will know that creation is finished and you are simply witnessing its unfolding. And yet, even as they fall, you will feel no need to dominate, because true power needs no display. You will smile, not out of pride, but out of gratitude, for you have realized that they were never your enemy, nor your prize. They were mirrors showing you who you believed yourself to be. And now in your awakening, you see clearly that all along there was only you. You see, every soul is connected. The line dividing you from them is an illusion. When you desire another's love, what you are truly desiring is recognition of your own love. When you wish for another's devotion, you are calling forth your own forgotten divinity. You think you want them to kneel before you, but in truth, you want to remember that the entire universe already does. The stars bow to the consciousness that dreams them into being. The oceans move according to the rhythm of your unseen intention. The breath of life itself flows in reverence to the one who commands with feeling, you. And so you must train your inner world as a warrior trains the mind. You must learn to observe every thought that contradicts your power and replace it instantly with truth. You must learn to feel the reality of your desire even when the senses scream otherwise. The senses are followers, not leaders. They reflect what consciousness commands. If you react to appearances, you are surrendering authority. But if you stand still in the knowing of your assumption, appearances must obey. That is how creation works. When you feel ignored, when you feel unseen, close your eyes and enter the inner scene of being desired. See yourself surrounded by love, attention, devotion. Feel the air vibrate with your importance. Do not wait for evidence. Create it inside. And soon the outer world will mirror it back to you so vividly that you will wonder how you ever doubted. People often ask, should I visualize them coming to me or should I affirm it? The answer is, do whatever makes it real to you. Some feel more vividly through imagery, others through words. What matters is not the technique, but the feeling of reality. If you can feel it, you can have it. Feel it until it replaces your former state of lack. Feel it until it becomes your new normal. Then let go, not in apathy, but in faith. Trust the unseen process. When they finally appear before you, humbled and reverent, you will know that it was never about power over them, but power within you. The very moment you no longer need to be worshipped is when worship arrives. The very moment you stop seeking love is when love finds you. The very moment you release the chase, the universe starts chasing you. That is the paradox of power. It only comes when you stop grasping for it. Now listen carefully. There is a point of awareness where thought and reality merge. It is the state of pure imagination, the feeling of the wish fulfilled. When you dwell in that state long enough, you begin to feel as though the outer world is merely catching up to you. That's when the miraculous happens. Conversations align, timing becomes perfect, coincidences multiply. You begin to live in flow. Everything you once chased begins to chase you. Everything you once begged for now begs for you. Because you are no longer separate from the power that creates worlds. You are it, consciously expressed. Let every night be a sacred ritual. As you lie in bed, sink into the feeling of being adored beyond measure. Feel their devotion as though it were a blanket wrapping around you. Hear their voice whispering your name in love. See them kneeling before you, eyes glistening with awe, completely captivated by your essence. Let that feeling fill your heart until you drift into sleep. For sleep is the gateway between worlds, and what you impress upon the mind in that drowsy state will manifest without resistance. When you wake, act naturally, as if it's already true. Do not overthink, do not analyze, simply live from that feeling. This practice is not fantasy, it is creation. You are impressing upon the universal subconscious, and it responds faithfully to the pattern you give it. The universe does not know the difference between imagination and experience. It only knows vibration. When your vibration says, I am adored, it must reflect situations that confirm it. When your vibration says, they need me, reality orchestrates events to make that true. The entire universe is a servant of your inner word. Think of yourself as the author and actor of your play. You may have forgotten your power for a time, believing you were a character trapped in someone else's script. But now you awaken to the realization that the pen has always been in your hand. You can rewrite any scene, revise any memory, transform any relationship. You can turn indifference into devotion, silence into confession, distance into union by changing the script within you. And you change it not with effort, but with assumption. Say within yourself, they adore me, they respect me, they cannot resist me. My love is sacred, my presence divine. Repeat it until it vibrates through your being. Let every cell of your body believe it. Walk as though the world has already crowned you, because when you do, the world will. The power you seek is not hidden in others. It is resting quietly within you, waiting for your command. You are the cause of every effect. When you assume the throne of consciousness, everything else takes its rightful place. They fall not because you push them, but because your radiance leaves them no choice. They feel the force of your certainty, the calm dominion of your energy, and something ancient within them remembers. This is what truth feels like. This is what love feels like. And soon they will speak words they never planned to say. They will confess emotions they didn't understand. They will look at you with reverence, unable to explain the gravity of your presence. You have become the embodiment of their desire because you have become the embodiment of your own fulfillment. They kneel, not in weakness, but in recognition of your divinity. And that divinity was never absent, it was only forgotten.